welcome everybody to the ALR Constructors Cup semi-finals tonight. So we've only got 2 races tonight between, well, the first race, waiting for the lobby to fill up just now. We're waiting for Mercedes, who are all in, I think, and Team Renault. So it's Mercedes v Renault in the first fixture, and then straight after this we're going to have Team Williams against Team Haas. And that'll be the semi-finals for tonight. There's only going to be 2 fixtures tonight. Of course, in the quarter-finals, we had a bit of an upset really in all 4 races, which was so the 8 teams in the quarter-finals, and it was Haas who came out on top of AlphaTauri, Williams on top of Alfa Romeo, Renault beat Racing Point, and Mercedes beat McLaren. So yeah, a bit of a topsy-turvy quarter-finals, and of course that's meant Mercedes, Renault, Williams, and Haas have all made it into the semi-finals tonight. So it's going to be 2 races tonight. Of course, the Mercedes v Renault race, which is going to be up in the next few minutes, and then following that will be Williams and Haas, who will be battling out obviously for the place in the final. 1 team from each race will be in the final on Sunday night, and of course there'll be a 3rd place playoff as well. So everybody who is competing tonight will be racing again on Sunday as well. So that's the standings as it is at the moment. We're just waiting for one more driver to join for Team Renault, and and then we can get cracking. It's going to be 4v4 tonight for for both the teams. Of course for Team Mercedes and Team Renault. And I hope everyone's having a lovely Friday night and looking forward to the weekend to come. And just waiting for one more driver to pop in, and then we'll crack on with the first race of the night. Let me just go to the comments just to make sure everyone's being nice in the comments. So we'll find out in a minute. Dan Murphy says Twam is MIA. Well, that's not helpful for Team Renault. Of course, he's meant to be turning up. Bailey has said, come on Renault. We're just waiting for one more Renault to drive. And we're just waiting to see if he's going to turn up or not. And if not, we'll have to throw somebody in quickly. It is 7 o'clock, so we're about to get ready. Jake Wilson is very keen to get ready and get going. He's readied up all on his own. So we're just waiting to see if I think there's going to be a reserve coming in for Renault. I'm not sure what happened to Twan. He's not let us know if he's turning up or not. Well, he did say he was turning up originally, but he's not said anything after that. Becca has said evening to Bailey Smith. Evening to everybody in the chat already. And a couple of guys are readying up, so we need to tell them not to do that, because obviously we need to get one more person in for this session to start. So let me just double check. Let me just change that setting so that we can stop people from readying up, because obviously we need to get people into the session first. A bit cheeky of Mercedes to try and do that without one of the Renault guys in. And Emerson says good luck for Team Merck. Of course, Emerson is unable to race tonight, so he's at work himself. So he's giving the guys a bit of luck wishing them some luck to go on and get the win for Team Mercedes. Mike has said evening all. Cheers, Emerson. Of course, wrong account again, says Mike. We have a reserve on the way, says Dan, for Team Renault. Of course, Dan's already reserving for Renault, so we'll have to have 2 reserves for Renault tonight. So hope it doesn't come back to haunt them. We'll find out in a minute. Bailey has said hello, my fellow Renault supporter. Oh, sorry, to Becca. Hello, Becca, my fellow Renault supporter. So yeah, we're just supporting the Renaults. It looks like as is Becca and Bailey. But Twans looks like he's woken up. So we'll find out in a minute if Twan's going to wake up and get on. But in the meantime, we'll just keep throwing your comments in. I'll have to sort of ramble on for a bit until we get cracking. Of course, the semi-finals tonight, for both races, will be held in Germany. So the German track is it's not one of my favourites personally, but I think it's going to be it's a decent track, I think, overall, especially when it's not raining. It's just that dreaded turn 1 that you've got to watch out for, of course. Bailey is Mike has said better. Oh yeah, he's on the right account now. Is Mike. So we're just waiting for one more driver to join for Team Renault, and then we can get cracking. He's a bit late, so he's delayed the start, unfortunately. But when he gets there, we'll get cracking. Jake Wilson, of course, in Mercedes tonight, racing for Mercedes anyway throughout the tournament, has said, "Watch me spin out at turn 1 every lap." Hopefully that doesn't happen to you. We've got Young Lights in the session, who is not taking part in the session, I don't think. so we'll have to get rid of him in a minute. Emerson said, Renault are lucky I'm not racing, got pole and a win round there in ALR Gold, of course, last season. He did a great job. But yeah, we're just waiting for Twan to join, and then we'll crack on. So we're just waiting for one more driver to get in the session. I don't think Young Lights is actually racing tight, so we'll sort him out and we'll get cracking with this race. Unfortunately, there's been a slight delay because of somebody not waking up on time. So yeah, we'll wait and see what happens with that. But yeah, in the meantime, you've got to twiddle your thumbs, and we're building up the tension for the semi-finals, it seems. So yeah, we're just waiting to see if we've got another driver joining us. Unfortunately, Young Lights will have to step out as Twan has joined. So yeah, we've got to get rid of Young Lights, unfortunately. So sorry, Young Lights, but thanks for filling in, of course. So yeah, we'll get rid of Young Lights, unfortunately, for him, and we'll crack on with the semi-final. Finally, we can get going. So everybody's in, and we can start the racing now, which will be good. And who said what? Bailey Smith has started laughing. I think that's probably Emerson's comment about how he won the race for ALR Gold. But of course, Emerson's not in the team tonight, unfortunately for him. And yeah, so we're just waiting to see if we'll wait and see. Obviously, when the guys get in, we've got a nice clear day in the around the Hockenheim ring, if I can get my words out. And yeah, we'll be able to get cracking with the first race of the night. Oh, my PlayStation's very quiet today. That's a bit strange. It's probably going to heat up in a minute. But once the racing gets cracking, the PlayStation decides to follow with it and start to explode as well. So hopefully there's no explosions either on track or in my room. We're just keeping an eye on it as the players are loading in now. So yeah, we're waiting for them to obviously load their setups. Get everything sorted with the setups and everything, and then we'll perfect their preferred strategies really as well, and then we'll get cracking with the one-shot qualifying, which of course the all rounds in the group stage and in the quarterfinals, of course, on Tuesday have had one-shot qualifying 25% race, and it's going to carry on, of course, for tonight for the semi-finals and in the final and playoffs as well. So yeah, we're underway now for the qualifying, so away we go. I'll just double check. I need to get the telemetry and stuff on, of course, and we'll put this stuff on. There's 3 runners on the medium compound tyres, it looks like, tonight. So it's going to be Mumford, Smithy, and Jake Wilson on the medium compound tyres. Mumford and Jake Wilson, of course, in Team Mercedes, and Smithy for Team Renault. And yeah, I think it's going to be a good match. Of course, well, both teams have done really well to get to the semi-finals, of course. Otherwise, they wouldn't be here, would they? But yeah, so well done to both teams Mercedes and Team Renault for getting this far, of course, and done a great job all the way through the tournament, I think. And yeah, we're on board now with Paulie Orange, who's yeah, he's got the real pace. I think Cookie, who was meant to be racing for Renault tonight, unfortunately couldn't make it. But luckily 3 of the other team managed to get here. Eventually Twan managed to get here. So yeah, we'll carry on with the qualifying lap. Of course, Paulie Orange has changed that livery. I think the Mercedes guys did a little bit of a change to their livery, of course, with the change to the actual Mercedes livery in real life. So they've changed it to black, of course, wherever it was previously silver or chrome. So yeah, they've changed the livery around. Have Team Mercedes, but it looks like actually Team Renault. Sorry, I missed that completely. Twan has put it on pole for Team Renault. So a great time from Twan. He managed to wake up in time, get round the lap, and he's done a great job there getting over the line in P1 at the moment as it stands. Darren has said, or Serious Mushroom has said, evening. Of course, welcome Darren. I hope you're all right. And yeah, you've got your race coming up after this one, haven't you, for Team Williams against Team Haas. Bailey has said, yes, Renault baby, as Twan has put it on pole. So yeah, well done to Twan. Of Dan Murphy for Renault is also in P3 reserving tonight. Milan is in P4, and Smithy is unfortunately Smithy didn't have time, but he got disqualified for maybe cutting a corner or getting an invalidation there or something like that. But Jake Wilson, Mumford, and Mike all on the all the Mercedes drivers in 5th, 6th, and 7th. Mike starting on the softs, but the other 2 starting on the medium compound tyres. And the the last Mercedes there is Paulie Orange in P2 as it stands. So we'll wait for them to get to the next loading screen, of course. and then we'll load in, and we will start off with the. They'll be picking their tyre strategies, or what? Well, there's not much to choose, but they'll be picking which lap they want to pit and that sort of thing, which tyre they want to go on at the pit stop. Hopefully, it'll be either softs to mediums or mediums to softs, because it's only 25% race. And then really what sort of fuel levels they want to put on board. Obviously, if they want to have want to add some extra fuel reserve to maybe deploy some rich mix down those straights, or whether they want to go a bit leaner and then obviously have a bit of a lighter car at the beginning of the race compared to their rivals. But we're waiting for Twan just to get his strategy sorted, and once he has done, we will be able to get cracking with race 1. And here we go then. So yeah, Twan is on pole as it stands at the moment. Let me just get the informations on and position changes. I will have a look at that in a minute. So we're away, and we're away cleanly, I think it looks like, as Paulie Orange has got bogged down there a bit. Oh, he's gone for a spin there as Paulie Orange. He's in the wall. He's got wing damage as well. So unfortunately for Paulie Orange, I think he was coming together with Dan. And again, we've got all 3 Renaults in the top 3 as it stands as they go along. I think Dan caught the front wing of the Mercedes driver there, unfortunately for Paulie Orange, and he's unfortunately down to last as it stands. So yeah, just looking at the position changes, of course, Paulie Orange down 6, of course, starting for P2. Mumford down 1, being overtaken by Smithy as Smithy and Jake Wilson are battling into the hairpin, and he's gone wide. Has Jake Wilson? Smithy is through up into P5 for Team Renault. So yeah, Renault doing a great job in this one, really battling away hard. And I think we'll wait and see as Jake Wilson's going to go for a dive. Is he? No, he's been spun as well. Oh my God, Renault are not having a good. Well, Renault having a good old time, but Mercedes have been spinning all over the place. Sam says evening to Sam as well. And yeah, unfortunately, it seems like Renault have been catching people out here. Tyres everybody's on is Smithy in P5 on the mediums, Mumford in P6 on the mediums, and Jake Wilson in P7 on the mediums as well. Jake having a bit of a spin there, but he's got all his front wing intact, and we'll be able to crack on. Paulie Orange, I don't think he has to. Will have to pit as well. I think he will have to go in for a new front wing for certain. No, he's staying out, it looks like. So he's carrying on this lap. So we'll see if he can gain any time. I don't think he will, unfortunately, with that broken wing. But yeah, maybe he's waiting to make a late pit stop or a later pit stop just to make sure those tyres get to the end of the race. Out in front, then it's 3 Team Renaults all getting away as it stands, all on the soft compound tyres as well. But in the middle pack, Mumford is trying to gain on Smithy. Of course, Smithy was a bit robust in his defending rather on Jake Wilson, but no harm done really. Unfortunately, Jake had a bit of a spin. Emerson has said, well, GG Renault. Ginger Ray just said, go on Twan. So Twan is doing a great job, obviously qualifying on pole as well and leading the race as it stands. So he's under pressure from his teammate at the moment. But no team orders, I don't think, at Team Renault. We'll wait and see if there is any. But the top 3, Milan, Dad, and Twan, pretty good names there to get a bit of a rhyming going on. But they've done a great job in getting away at the beginning of this race. Mike is out of DRS range for Team Mercedes, who's the first or the highest up Team Mercedes as it stands at the moment. Unfortunately, Mumford, Jake Wilson, and Paulie Orange are down the field at the moment as it stands. But of course, that could change. I don't know if Paulie Orange is going to pit this time. He is going to be in the pits this time, and he's made it in nice and safely. If he doesn't get to the line before and don't speed over into pit lane, he's made it. Oh, Mumford has gone for a massive smash. I just caught the end of that. Mumford has completely totaled his car in I think it was in turn 1. It looks like it was turn 1 for me. Mumford has gone straight into the barrier there and literally just destroyed his car. Jake Wilson's retired from the session as well. So this looks like it could be the end for Mercedes, it seems. It's all going on in the chat as well. Paulie Orange comes out of the pits. I don't know what happened to Jake Wilson because he was on the straight and he was doing fine, I think, but I don't know what happened to him in the end. It's only Mike and Paulie Orange in the running now for Team Mercedes, and obviously Team Renault again 1, 2, and 3 with Smithy bringing up the rear for Team Renault in P5 at the moment. But again, he's quite close to the back of Mike, so it could be a Renault 1 to 4 and a Mercedes 5, 6, and 7th and 8th. Unfortunately, I think they have all come together, and that's pretty much it. Mumford's dash failed according to Darren. I don't know what happened to Jake there, but it seemed like Jake was he was definitely past the incident Mumford had caused with his turn 1 fiasco. So I'm not sure exactly what happened to Jake Wilson there, well, I don't know what happened to Mumford really either. That's all the carnage that ensued after Mumford's accident, as Dan's got the DRS on his teammate Milan. So yeah, we'll ride on board with Dan as he's trying to make an overtake. I think they're going to be sort of DRS training away now into the distance for Team Renault, and I think Renault have got this one sewn up already on lap 4. It looks like, so yeah, I think barring any retirements for their team, of course, I think they'll be quite comfortable in this race. According to Jake Wilson, Mumford's car came back on the track right in front of him. Of course, that would cause any retirement. To be honest, I think I didn't see him retire at the same time, but I think it just came at the wrong time, didn't it, for Jake Wilson, and went straight into the back of his teammate who'd already put it in the wall after turn 1. It is a deadly turn 1, that is, and you need to take care. I think all of these guys were still running, of course, are taking care, but the problem is the gap from Mercedes, as Twan's got a 3-second time penalty there for corner cutting turn 1 there, adding up those errors. Unbelievable, says Bailey, and a couple of emojis. I don't know what that second emoji is, so I won't say anything. Milan and Dan, I think, are working together to extend the gap now ahead of Mike, who's dropping back to about 3 seconds now. So he's really dropped down, has Mike. But anything can happen in this race, and anything could happen. We'll never know. We'll find out in a minute at the end of the laps, as Milan has passed Dan Murphy for P2, and they're just switching around positions. Paulie Orange has set the fastest lap of the race, obviously on those medium compound tyres. And Becker has said, well, it's a bit of a boring race now. Congrats, Renault. Well, you never know. Renault could do the same thing as Mercedes and really ruin their race if they had a retirement or 2 retirements the same. And of course, Paulie Orange already pitting. He will be able to close that gap on the top guys in the next couple of laps when they do make their pit stops as well. So we'll find out in a minute where he comes back, because of course Paulie Orange would be everyone's favourite, I think, to win this race. But he's not a big fan of Germany, he said. But he's done a good job as into the pits comes Milan and Dan Murphy. Twan is carrying on from the lead, so he's still going to retain that lead as it stands. He's gone very wide. Oh, that was a close one. He was drifting around turn 1 there, but he's managed to hold it. Mike has carried on, and for Team Mercedes as well. Smithy is Mike's has got a 3-second time penalty there. Smithy's carried on too. Paulie Orange is coming round the Mercedes grandstand there. He's going to be too far back to catch up to Dan Murphy and Milan at this stage of the race. But of course, those two guys who just pitted were quite far up ahead of the likes of Smithy and Mike. So again, Paulie Orange could be able to make some position gains later on in this race. But we'll find out in a minute when those guys at the top 3 haven't made their pit stops yet. When those guys make their pit stops, we'll see where Paulie Orange mixes in. Really, we'll find out in a minute. He's only 11 seconds behind Dan, so it's not too bad. He's made a good recovery. We'll see what happens in the next latter stages of this race. Smithy on the back of Mike now, as he's got in the DRS range. I think those soft tyres may be going off. We'll find out. We'll find out in the comments, hopefully, from some of the guys later on in the race, and in the later races as well. But those soft tyres seem to be dropping out. Well, maybe Mike's picked up the game now as he stands. Stan is in the pit, so is Mike actually. So yeah, maybe those soft tyres were up for it and were done for it. Sorry, as Smithy takes the lead of the race from Twan, and away goes the Renault drivers. Again, both of them drifting round turn 1, doing a great job of drifting around turn 1 and keeping control of the car. And out comes Mike. Oh no, Mike's in the pit. Sorry, Twan is coming out now. Is he going to retain his lead? He is just about, but he's going to be undercut by Milan. Milan's made the move, and Dan is all over the back of him. So it's back to a Renault top 4 at the moment as it stands. But of course, Smithy yet to pit. Mike is coming out of the pits now, and Paulie Orange is going to be all over him. Paulie Orange has got past him as well. So well done to Paulie Orange, making a good recovery drive. But unfortunately for Team Mercedes, it's going to be too little, unfortunately, to make a big difference. As Milan has been passed by Twan, very close. Oh, very very strange overtake there into the hairpin. Very confusing as Milan's gone onto the grass there for a bit. Well, it's a bit of a boring race now. Yeah, you said that already, I think, haven't you? Oh, I can't remember. I've read that out. I thought I read that out before. Anyway, nobody's commented anything since then. So yeah, Team Mercedes in P6 and P5, and the top 4 as it stands are all Renault drivers. And we've got a bit of a what's going on here. Paulie Orange has just let his teammate through and gone on the grass again. And yeah, I don't know if there's something else has gone on. Is there something else going on? I saw a yellow flag somewhere. But no, it seems like everyone's carrying on. So maybe it's just that Paulie Orange incident. But yeah, they've all carried on. Smithy's still leading the race. Of course, he's only 9 seconds ahead of his teammate Twan. But Twan has pit and he's on the fresher medium compound tyres as it stands. Bailey has said, "Oh no, oh no, what's gone wrong?" I don't think anything's gone wrong for Team Renault as it stands. Anyway, Paulie Orange. All over the back of his teammate still, and into turn 1 very cleanly that time for Paulie Orange. And yeah, we'll need those Mercedes drivers to stay out of turn 1, because that is a dangerous place to be, dangerous place to go over the curbs definitely as well, because they seem to throw you out there. Becca has said shambles. Yeah, it's been an absolute shambles, and so is my commentary. So yeah, good luck with that. We've got Paulie Orange on the he's making the overtake down into the hairpin on Mike. Has made it stick as well, so Paulie Orange can get going and try and get after Milan, in P4. I don't think he's going to be able to close that gap, unfortunately, but we never know where Smithy's going to come out, so we'll find out in a minute as the gap is coming down between Twan and Smithy. Obviously those medium tyres will be going quite a long distance into this race, and we'll find out. Merck might as well retire, said Sam. Yeah, but that's not the spirit of the cup, is it? That's not fair on them. They've done a great job of getting to this stage of the race, or stage of the tournament, as well. So yeah, congratulations to Team Mercedes and Team Renault for both making their way all the way through the group stages and the quarterfinals to get here as well. Box, we retire the car, says Bailey. No, we don't. We carry on. We keep going. There's no saving the engines in this one, so we just need to keep going. And yeah, we've got who we've got next is Mike is still in the DRS range of his teammate, so he needs that DRS to pull him along, and potentially they can both leapfrog Smithy when he pits. He's around the hairpin as it stands as the leader, and we're just waiting to see if he's going to make a pit stop at some point in this race. I think it will be in the next couple of laps or so, because obviously those soft tyres seem to last about 5 laps or so for the guys who started on the soft compound tyres, of course, which was Twan, Dan, Milan, Paulie Orange, and Mike. And yeah, so unfortunately Jake Wilson and Mumford didn't get to make a pit stop. So yeah, unfortunately for them, they were on the first stint, and well, they seem to have not coming together, but Mumford misjudged turn 1, sort of ruined the car in the wall, and his car sort of bounced back, and then it affected Jake Wilson, who was following him through the same turn. So yeah, unfortunately for Mercedes, it really just came back to haunt them, and it should just bit them back in the behind really. Bailey says Jake Wilson says can't believe it, honestly. Yeah, it's a bit of unfortunately it's the same for everyone. If your teammate had crashed in front of you, it's obviously going to impact you, and obviously any other cars behind you as well. So it's yeah, unfortunate for Jake Wilson that his car got caught up in it, as Mike has gone wild into turn 1. He's just about kept it, or just about held it, sorry. Bailey has retracted a message, so Jake Wilson obviously can't believe it. Unfortunately, it's not a nice thing that has happened, and unfortunately there's nothing much you can do to avoid it either, to be fair. But yeah, unfortunately you're caught up in it, and that was it. So yeah, we'll carry on unfortunately with this race. We have less people in the race than we were starting with. We have 2 Mercedes that are out, Jake Wilson and Mumford Place, and unfortunately for the 2 Mercedes that are still in it, it's P6 and P5 for them as well, so they're not being able to make any gains on the guys ahead of them. Although Paulie Orange is now bringing that gap down to Milan, but I don't think he's going to have enough laps to get an overtake done. Mumford was on the side of the track. He just reversed straight into me in the middle of the track. It's an incident in report. Well, reporting your teammate isn't going to help your team, I don't think, mate. So yeah, it's quite funny if Team Mercedes is going to turn on each other. I wouldn't advise it, but yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll have a look at it obviously after the semi-finals, and obviously any penalties will be incurred onto either team rather for any incidents. It's the same with every race that we've had so far, and yeah, we'll crack on. the gaps have all sort of started to form. I think the actual gap, the only gap that's closing now is apart from the Paulie Orange and Milan gap, which is quite distant at the moment, 8.6 seconds it stands at. But as the gap at the front with Twan in P2 and Smithy in P1, of course, as it stands. But Smithy yet to pit, so he's done 10 laps on those medium compound tyres. Has Smithy, car number 95. Emerson said you win some, you lose some. Still got that final race for third on Sunday, so hopefully we can win that. Yes, of course, Mercedes looking like they'll be out of the semi-finals tonight, but they'll be taking part in the third place playoff, if I can get my words out, which will be on Sunday just before the final, of course. So it looks like Smithy is coming in the pits now as it stands. Yeah, yep, he is. He's in, and he's going to be putting on the the soft compound tyres. Hopefully he doesn't get a 5 second, but he slowed down just in time. Great job there of slowing down on the pit lane entry for Smithy. Paulie Orange should definitely get, but I think Mike has had a bit of a spin or something there, because he's dropped quite a bit far back from Paulie Orange. Smithy's on the way back out, but I think Paulie Orange is going to get him into turn one. Yep, Paulie Orange is through into P4 for Team Mercedes. Mike is really drifting around turn one there, and he's going to be behind Smithy, unfortunately, for the Mercedes driver. But Smithy actually on the soft compound tyres, if he can get that power down and get after Paulie Orange, could potentially make it a Renault 1-4 again after the pit stops have all been taken. So everybody's made a pit stop now. So everybody can go to the end of this race, or well, they can pit again if they want to, but they don't need to. They've made their mandatory pit stop, so they can always crack on to the end if they feel like it. But if they fancy making another pit stop, they can of course do that if they wish as well. Yeah, so Emerson said we've got so basically there's a third place playoff that will be happening 7:15 on Sunday. Of course we're a bit further back than tonight, so we'll be starting at 7:15 on Sunday for the final and the playoffs really. The third place playoff will be 7:15, and then the final will be at 8 o'clock on Sunday night. So we're waiting to see. I think it'll be Team Renault who are pushing their way to make it into the finals tonight, and then unfortunately for Mercedes they'll be dropping into the third place playoff as it seems. But again, anything could happen. We could have a couple of retirements for Team Renault. We've had a couple of retirements for Team Mercedes, so anything can happen. The gap between Smithy and Paulie Orange is the closest as it stands at the moment, but I don't think Smithy, even though he's on those soft compound tyres, is getting that gap down enough to worry Paulie Orange in terms of getting the DRS and trying to make an overtake on him, of course. Dan Murphy is closing that gap into Twan in the lead. Of course, reserving for Renault tonight is Dan Murphy, because Cookie could not make the race. And so he's filling in tonight for Cookie, and Team Renault doing a great job as it stands. P1, P2, P3, and P5, which is pretty good when they've only got 8 races. When both teams have got 8 races, I should say. But pretty good from Team Renault in terms of the performance they put in tonight, and again throughout the tournament as well. I think Team Renault have done a great job in terms of getting the points and trying to get over the line. Of course, they did not win the group, but they came third, I believe it was, in Group B, which was a bit of a tough group. But I think they were probably hoping that they could have done better. And I think they've really, since the knockouts began, they've really kicked on. Of course, this is the second race of the knockouts, but they've really done a good job so far this in the quarterfinals, and of course in this race. As you can tell, they've done a fantastic job of creating the gap out front to the Mercedes drivers. And that are remaining, of course, but to the Mercedes drivers nonetheless, and getting on with their win, and not worrying about the other team, worrying about their own races, and that's really what you got to do, especially in league racing. Just worry about your race and make sure that you drive and get to the end, and then wait for everybody else to make their mistakes. So long as you're consistent and you get to the end, that's how you get the points, and that's what Team Renault are doing, and they've been doing a great job at it as well. So well done to all of them for a fantastic drive. And Sam Waller said, discipline your team, Mo, absolutely shambles. Well, there's nothing they can do about that, unfortunately, and Mo has definitely not got anything to do about that, not being able to participate tonight, being at work. So yeah, unfortunately for Emerson, I mean he's done a great job in captaining the team throughout the group stages and the quarterfinals. handed over the captaincy to Mike, obviously, for this race because he wasn't going to be able to attend. So yeah, well done to well done to all the team captains who've put in a good shift for every team, all 10 teams so far in the tournament. And well, there's only going to be 10 teams in the tournament. I shouldn't say so far, but all 10 teams who participated in the tournament. As Paulie Orange got 3 second time penalty there for excessive. I think that was the turn one. That was the turn one corner cutting warning that has added up. Smithy's also got the same penalty as Mike. So all of them are getting their 3 second time penalties now. Yeah, so I think all the team captains done a great job, especially of Energetics in the Haas and Sammy in the McLaren, getting their teams organised way ahead of schedule, and even weeks ahead of schedule as well in terms of Energetics. So yeah, fantastic stuff from the captains to get everything sorted, and really well done to those guys, and well done to both the Mercedes and Renault teams for getting this far. Again, I keep saying it's a great achievement for obviously for the 10 teams to get through, and these are two of the top teams that have managed to battle their way all the way to the semi-finals as it stands right now. We're on lap 15 and they've done a great job of controlling this race, have Team Renault. But so I think Mercedes, they were out of it quite early on in this race because of the incident that happened with Mumford, and of course collecting Jake Wilson on the return to track, as it sounds, from the Mercedes driver. But we'll find out more about that later on after the race, of course. But Dan Murphy in the DRS now of Twan. I think he'll maybe be going for a win. Is Dan Murphy, of course, reserving for the Renault team tonight, as Mike has gone back in the pits. Has Mike on beginning of lap 16 for him. I hope he's going to go on to He's saved a lot of ERS, has Mike. So I'm guessing he's going to go on the softs and go for a fastest lap. Unfortunately, it will mean quite little to Mercedes tonight. But again, there's nothing wrong with stealing it, of course, from the Renault team, if they had it, of course. I don't know who had it at the time, but it's probably Paulie Orange, I imagine. I'm pretty sure I saw his time pop up on the medium compound tyres, but I might be wrong there. We'll find out. Dan's still all over the back of Twan and trying to. I don't know whether there's any team orders from, or if they're in a party chat or anything. But the captain tonight is not here. Of course, Cookie was the captain for Team Renault, and will be the captain for Team Renault into the final, I imagine. He's all over the back of Twan. I don't know who's filling in as team captain as such tonight, but Twan has done a great job actually of controlling this race. I forgot to mention, I did mention it at the very beginning, but Twan woke up late, and that's why there was a bit of delay at the start, because Twan was having a nap. So he's made it to the race. Put it on pole, and then has controlled the race from the beginning, as Dan's saving his errs now. So I think he's letting Twan carry on and cruise along to the victory for Team Renault tonight. And why shouldn't he? Twan's done a great job so far this race. Literally been leading it for pretty much, apart from when Smithy was carrying on with the different strategy, with the alternate strategy. He's been leading this race non-stop, I think, has Twan. So credit to him. He's done a great job. We're watching Dan Murphy here. We should be watching this guy. And here we are with Twan coming through into Sector 3, car number 24, of course. Very nice Renault livery that is. And of course, the most expensive livery I think we've got out of all the 10 teams that have participated in the Supercup. Credit to them. They've earned it. They've put it on display, and here comes Twan to cross the line in P1 for Team Renault, followed by Dan Murphy. Oh no, sorry, Dan has passed Twan based on penalties. Of course, Twan had a 3 second time penalty there, but Milan comes across the line in P3, so it's P1, 2, 3 for Renault. Paulie Orange is coming into the pits to finish his race, as Smithy passes him for P4. Paulie Orange is retired from the session, so that was okay. And we're just waiting for Mike, who seems to be lagging a bit all over the place now. But I suppose there's no worries about lagging now, because he's the last man to cross the line. And I'm pretty sure Renault have won that. But I will do the maths, and I'll get there eventually. The fastest lap I will also record as well. So really good racing from everybody there. And I just need to do the mathematics. And we've got P1, P2, P3 and P4 for Team Renault, so that's pretty good for them. We've got P5, P6, P7 and P8 for Team Mercedes. So without the fastest lap as it stands, it is 34-18 to Team Renault. absolutely fantastic drive from Team Renault. And who else has said something in the comments? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 says Bailey. Wow, incredible. Yeah, you were supporting Team Renault, weren't you, Bailey? And they've come through for you. They've put it on. Well, they put all 3 of them are on the podium, and one of them is in P4. And the fastest lap. Oh, there's quite a few. There's 13.397 there from Mike. So Mike gets the fastest lap. Yeah, so that was interesting. And so yeah, we've got Mike setting the fastest lap there. Well done to Mike. For Team Mercedes, that was. So it is a 34-19 win for for Team Renault, and 34.397 is the fastest lap. Oh, sorry, 13.397. There we go. I need to get my maths right. Let's put the scores in on the doors. And it was 19 to Mercedes and 34 to Team Renault. So yeah, well done to Team Renault, of course. The first team to make it into the final for the event, which will be happening, of course, on Sunday. So in 2 days' time. So we're just waiting. I'll just get everything sorted for the next race, which is going to be between Team Williams and Team Haas. So I'll just invite the team captains in. And we've got Granty for Team Williams, and the team captain for Haas, as we've got the PlayStation going now, is Energetics. So we're just waiting for these guys to join the session. I'm just going to get rid of Smithy. Sorry, Smithy. And yeah, we'll crack on with race number 2 and the final race for tonight. So just waiting for the guys to get into the team. They've had the invites, so yeah, we're just waiting for the guys to jump in and load up their cars. Waiting for the team captains to get in now, and they're not coming. So just waiting for the team captains to jump in, and then we'll get cracking with the second and the final race of the night. Of course, with only 4 teams in the semi-finals, of course, which makes sense. And yeah, we'll carry on with this race. Yep. Bailey has said prepare for takeoff, PS4 departing shortly. It sounds like it, definitely. People aren't being able to join, so I'll just back out and start a new session then. And then we'll find out. What's going on with this. Maybe Codemaster's having a bad day, so we won't have a semi-final tonight. We'll just have one race. But hopefully not. Hopefully we can get Granty and Energetics into the session. I'll just send them the invites and then sort out the lobby afterwards. Granty and Energetics, where are you? There you are. Alright, new invites have been sent, so hopefully they'll be able to get in now. Energetics is in, that's good. I just need to get one reserve in, because Williams, of course, have a reserve who is racing with us tonight. And see if I can find him. Of course, I need to add him first. So yeah, just getting the guys in the session now, and then we'll crack on. And we have one reserve tonight who's going to be, I think, actually has to have a full team when they get in, and one reserve for Team Williams, which is Marks, who's joining us for, or joining Team Williams for tonight. But just waiting for the rest of the guys to get into the session, and we'll be able to crack on. So just wait, sorry guys, we're waiting for the, I didn't realise I was so quiet for that bit. I'm waiting for my PlayStation to blow up finally, and thankfully it's not. So yeah, we're just waiting for the final few people to join the session. We've got 3 more drivers, so we've got 5v5 tonight. We're waiting for 3 more drivers. Sorry, we've got 3 more drivers to come in. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 1 from Team Williams and 2 more from Team Haas. So just waiting for them to jump into the lobby, and yeah, we'll just wait and see how they're going to do when they get in, and we'll crack on. As the police are coming past, very angry indeed. And Fireshot has joined for Team Haas, so it is it's 4v4 as it stands at the moment. So if it all comes to the worst, we will crack on as it is. But we prefer if we've got 2 people coming in. Have we now? We've got 9 drivers now. We've got Sean Hammers has joined for Team Haas. So we're just waiting for 1 more guy from the Williams team. So we're just waiting for them to join into the session, and then we'll crack on with the race. So just one more to join, and we'll get going. Becca is cheering for Team Haas. Team Haas tonight for Becca. So Becca was supporting Team Renault as well, along with Bailey, and that went well for Renault. So if Becca and Bailey are supporting you, it seems like it helps. So Team Haas are the supportees. The supportees for Becca and Bailey. We'll see if it's going to help them this time, or if it's going to go the other way around this time. We'll never know. We shall find out. I will send an invite to Curly Red, who will be filling in for the Williams team if we do not get Pains to join in. It doesn't look like he's coming, as far as I've been told, and so I'm just going to get a reserve driver in. And is he going to join? We've only got 8 drivers now, so who's left? This is not good. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sean Hammers has left. Curly Red is in, so that's great. Now we've got Curly Red in, and now we need Sean Hammers back. So Sean Hammers has dropped out, and now he can't race. So we're waiting for him to join. Hopefully he can get back in the session quickly, and then we can crack on with the race, with the second race of the night for the second semi-final, and this will decide the other team who's going to be meeting Team Renault, of course, in the final as well. So we'll find out. We'll find out in a minute. We're just waiting for Sean Hammers to jump back in if he can. I think his internet has died apparently. So hopefully he can get back on in the next minute or two. We'll wait for him for another couple of minutes, and then we'll get going at hopefully 1:45, and we'll just find out in a minute. He's just coming back now, we've been told, so we're just waiting to see him pop back into the session, and then we'll be able to crack on. Becca is expecting big things from Sean Hammers this race. Becca's been betrayed by David Smith and laughing emoji. So there we go. Sam supporting the Haas team as well. Curly in the house. Yeah, Curly is reserving for Team Williams tonight. Just waiting for an invite. We're waiting for Sean Hammers to get back in the session for an invite. Team captain can sort that out. Bailey can't support Haas now, says Dave Smith. I don't know why. Oh yeah, because maybe Curly Red. Oh, because Curly Red's in Williams. Right. Okay. So Curly Red. Bailey is not supporting Team Haas now. We've got Bailey supporting Williams. I suppose. I'm not sure. We'll find out. So that's why he's been betrayed. Of course. Yes. Just one more to join. We're waiting for Sean Hammers, who is going to be in the session any minute now. And one more waiting for Sean Hammers. I don't know where he's gone, what he's doing now, but we're waiting to see if he can get back in the session. It'll be good. Emerson agrees with Becca. I think, Becca's been betrayed, it seems. So yeah, Emerson agrees, according to him. Hope the fish and chip shop is nice, Emerson, tonight. Busy Friday night. But I don't know where Sean Hammers is. So if we do carry on, we could probably do a 4v4 and unfortunately remove Curly Red. But hopefully we don't have to do that. Sean Hammers, are you joining us? Would be good if we could find out. And we're just waiting for somebody to either say he's joining or if he's not joining. But it would be good if one of them told us. Sean Hammers is coming apparently, but he's not coming at the same time. There we go. We've got 10 people in now. So Sean Hammers is back in. So yeah, we can get cracking now and finally get this race underway. So just waiting for the racing to get going. And we'll be able to crack on with the second semi-final. Team Haas, captained by Energetics, and Team Williams, captained by Garanti tonight. So yeah, we're just waiting to wait for the countdown to get to 0, and away we will go for the second race of the night. One day we'll be underway with it. I don't know what's going on. There we go. We got her in the end. And yeah, we got there in the end. Sorry. And we're just waiting for the guys now to load their setups, get everything ready. We're almost 10 minutes late. So yeah, finally we can get going. And yeah, once the guys have all loaded in, we'll be able to crack on with the next race. With the next race of the tournament, of the semi-finals, of course, I should say, and the final race of tonight. 2 races tonight, of course. Renault were victorious in the first race over Mercedes to get put them as the first team into the final. So we're looking to see who the second team will be. Will it be Team Haas or will it be Team Williams? Away we go for the qualifying lap. I'm not sure who's going to get invalidated here. I think a couple of people might be caught out there. I think Granty might have been caught out there, actually, looking at his time. But we'll never know. We'll find out in a minute. Let me just put the telemetry on and find out what times everybody's on. So yeah, we've got quite an even split actually. We've got 5 on the mediums and 5 on the soft compound tyres, all split all over the lap as it looks like at the moment. So I'm sure we'll see some movers and shakers in this quali lap. Emerson says, "I am my boss," and Sam Waller just puts laughing emojis. So yeah, okay, very interesting that is. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Granted, up to P5 as it stands for Team Williams. He is the second Williams actually. So Exile is also in P4 for Williams as it stands. LPE in P3, Energetics in P2, and Fireshot Ryan, as he was in the quarterfinals, leading the way for Team Haas as it stands. And just waiting for them to come through the final couple of corners, I should say, and around the final corner now as we go for Exile. Fireshot is going to be on pole position by about 0.4 of a second as well, which was a really good time from Fireshot. And Marks is just coming around the back here. I don't know where he is. We'll find out in a minute. He's coming around the last couple of corners. I think he's had a bit of a spin in the final corners. And we'll see where he comes across the line. I think he's going to be in P10, but he's done a 1:30 there, which is a bit slow for Marks. But hopefully he can speed up in the race. Maybe he just had a bit of an off lap. So yeah, just waiting for the timer to tick down. So we see a great pole time there from Fireshot, 11.4. Almost 4 attempts ahead of his teammate Energetics, and then his teammate again of LPE in P3. So it's a Haas 1-2-3. It's a Williams 4-5, both on the medium compound tyres. Sean Hammers for Team Haas on the medium compound tyres. Curly Red, Team Williams reserving tonight on the softs. Alhan on the mediums for Team Haas. Serious Mushroom and Marks on the I can't remember. I think it was on the medium compound tyres for Sean Hammers, and then the soft compound tyres for Marks, and they're both in Team Williams. Of course, Marks is reserving tonight as well. So yeah, we're just waiting for them to now load their tyre strategies and get going. Becca has said, not good enough, Sean Hammers. So yeah, Sean, I hope you're listening. Not good enough from Becca. She wants you to pick it up in the race and go faster. So yeah, so we'll see in a minute if if he does. We'll find out. Of course, he's on the alternate strategy, starting on the medium compound tyres, I believe. So hopefully he'll be a bit slower, obviously, at the start, but then he'll be quicker at the end. So maybe some places to gain for Sean Hammers for the light, well, for the anyway, the lights in the bottom 5 really. So yeah, we'll find out. Everybody in the the top 3 are all starting on the. Somebody's left the session. Sean Hammers has left the session, which is not good. Hopefully he can get back in. But he was having internet issues, and unfortunately that's left a bit of a gap, that has. And away we go. I'm not sure what's going to happen now. We'll find out. As away go the Haas team anyway, into turn 3. LPE up to P2. Sean Hammers has joined back in, so he can get control of his. Oh no, he can't. Where's his car gone? I think his car's actually disappeared. As around the outside of LPE goes Granty. He's going to be very close there into the third turn. Sorry, down the main straight. Oh, sorry, energetics that is. I forgot to say. I forgot to find out which one's which. And then the back onto the soft compound tyres is the top 3. Granty is doing a great job actually, keeping up as always as Sean Hammers has left the session again. Granty's into P3 it looks like on energetics, and Curly Red for Team Williams has passed his teammate of Exile. So yeah, he's Exile. Sorry, Curly Red is up to P5, and will be carrying on for the Williams team, of course. Granty, Energetics, and Curly Red are obviously the closest battle for can't go past all the way through. Apart from the top 2 at the moment is LPE and Fireshot, with Granty gaining on the back of the Hash driver of LPE. And obviously on those medium compound tyres, it could play into the Williams guys' hands. There's 3 of them on the medium compound tyres there, and yeah, it's interesting to see their strategy, of course, to see if they can pull this off. Awake Wi-Fi must be something, says Sam, but yeah, I'm not going to repeat that comment. Wales, says Sam. I don't know how. Okay. Right, carrying on with this race. LP is defending from Granty down the main straight, but down the back straight. Sorry, Granty's made the move stick into the hairpin, but will LP come back at him? Will not. He will not. No, he will not. So LP has dropped down. Granty's got a bit wide there, so he will lose a bit of performance. But LP is coming back at him. LP's got the move, and I think LP's got it. Is he on the outside? He's holding it around the outside. Granty's shoving him wide a bit, and Granty is still battling away as LPE. So great battling from LPE there, and LPE is up the inside now into the sector 3, into the tight sector 3 as well, you might say. And is it going to be close between the Williams driver and the Hash driver? Granty is through, and all this time Fireshot is getting away. LPE's gone on the grass a bit there, but Granty is through now on the Hash driver and made that move stick. But of course the DRS will be activated on this lap, so LP might not be in a bad spot right now as he's gone wide. Oh, he's gone on the grass, but he's still going. Oh, thank God, I thought he was going to be into the wall there, but he's all right. Fireshot sets the fastest lap of the race. LP goes wide over turn 1, and that'll be definitely a warning if it's not been a corner cut just yet. But yeah, so Granty can get his foot down now and get cracking. But of course LPE will have that DRS, I think, won't he, on this lap, as he's gone on the grass again. He's got 3 second time penalty now as LPE. So he's going to be under pressure later on in this race when the penalties are all taken into account. Sean Hammers' internet died. Yes, I figured that because he left the session and he's not in the session at the moment. So yeah, we'll find out what's going on with Sean Hammers, unfortunately, as he's joined back again. Unfortunately, I don't think his car is here, so he can't actually take control of anything because he lagged out before the race started. So he's not got a car on the grid to pick to get back in, but maybe he can. I will find out in a minute. We'll see if he can do that. LP is still on the back of Granty, trying to put some pressure on that Williams driver, who's now the lead Williams driver. Exile is the second Williams driver, down in P5 as it stands at the moment. So Williams need to pull the finger out and get going again. Sean Hammers is back out of the session. So there's probably no point in joining again, I don't think, because he's going to have he's not got any car to take a pick of and to get back into. So unfortunately for him, that's the problem. So we've got a switch in the order for Team Haas as LP is dropped down to P4, and I think he's having a bit of trouble with that last corner. It looks like. So Alhan, sorry, as Curly Red has been passed by both Alhan and Marks. I'm not sure what happened there exactly, but Marks is he's doing better than his qualifying show, doesn't he? So he's managed to get on the power and get some good lap times in now on this on the fourth lap we stand, and he's been able to get a move done on his reserve teammate of Curly Red. He's going to be chasing after Alhan now, and he's still in that DRS window, as they all are pretty much, on each other, apart from the top guys out in front. But they're all pretty close, all bunched up in the middle as it stands, all the way down to from P4 down to P3 down to P9. It seems, unfortunately, there is no P10 as Sean Hammers has left the session. Exile lining up a move on LPE here into the third sector. Can't quite move done. Serious Mushroom and Curly Red have swapped places, and I think that's a team game for Team Williams. Working together there for the two Williams drivers, or the reserve Williams driver and Serious Mushroom. Did somebody mention sausages? Says Sean. He's always one to pipe up when there is a food about. LPE is in the pits, and so is Curly Red. So LPE for Team Haas and Curly Red for Team Williams. We're switching to the medium compound tyres, you imagine, for both those drivers. Into the pits they come. It's the hard compound tyres for Curly Red. So that's probably not what you want to be putting on that car at the moment. You put the mediums on and get cracking, but unfortunately not. Alhan on the back of Exile now into the hairpin. He's got the DRS. Is he going to have the room and the space? He's got the move done up into P4 for Alhan for Team Haas. Gone a bit deep into that hairpin as well, has Alhan, but he's managed to keep the position from the Williams driver Exile. And it looks like it's going in. It's in Team Haas's favour as it stands at the moment. But of course, anything can happen, as we saw in the first race. Mercedes really showed that league racing can throw anything at you. What's up with LPE? Said Sam. I don't know what's up with LPE. He's made an early pit stop. He has for the medium compound tyres as LPE, but he was doing a great job. Obviously qualified in P3 and was up into P2 at the early stage of this race. Into the pits from the lead of the race comes Fireshot. Into the pits he goes. Granty takes the lead of the race, obviously on the medium compound tyres, so we'll be going longer. Energetics carries on for Team Haas, as does Alhan. Exile carries on for Team Williams, going a bit wide as he got a 3-second time penalty there, so you can just see that on board with Exile there. He's got 3-second time penalty for going a bit wide into turn 1, and Serious Mushroom has carried on also. So the top 3 Williams guys, all the Williams guys now, I think, are on the as Marks' pit, for Team Williams as well, as a reserve driver there, as been passed by LPE. But you can see the gap there actually between Marks and LPE, pretty small now. So I think obviously the undercut might not have worked. The pitting early rather might not have worked for LPE, as he's been caught there by Marks, who was quite a way down on LPE to start with at the beginning of this race. The only person in DRS range now is Exile on Alhan, but of course they're into the windy bit, the final part of Sector 2. There we go, into Sector 3, which is going to be even more difficult for an overtaking move. But not that it can't happen, but it's just you need to have the complete trust of both drivers, or the other driver, when you're making that move to of course not push you off into the grass. And I think Alhan's probably one of the guys who will definitely not do that, of course, which is good. Into the final sector we go. Energetics from P2 as pit. Alhan and Exile carry on. But so it's going to be interesting to see. As Alhan's going for a spin, he's made it. Oh no, he's gone for a spin there, and he's damaged the front wing. Serious Mushroom is through. Fireshot is going to come through turn 1 now as it stands, but he's not going to be able to pass his teammate. Energetics is in the pit, he's coming back out now in P6. He's going to be ahead of LP. I think LP has had a spin or something like that, because he's dropped a long way back and gained a 3-second time penalty there, as we saw just coming through turn 1, a bit too wide. But unfortunately for Alhan, he's gone into the wall at turn 1. The dreaded turn 1 curb, of course, has thrown him into the wall. He's got Fireshot, his teammate, right behind him. Of course, I don't know if these soft tyres can do 10 laps, as it seems like everybody's doing sort of 5 to 6 laps on them at the moment. It's only been one race before, but it seemed like they couldn't last that long. Alhan has let his teammate of Fireshot through, which is a really good team play. Of course, working together in the party and everything to obviously let help the team win the race. Of course, you get most points if you finish higher up. Fireshot's got 3-second time penalty there, but I'm not sure where. Got it into sector 3, of course. Alhan, I think, will have to pit, but I'm not sure what tyre he's going to have to go on. Maybe he's going to go on the hard compound tyres. We'll find out in a minute. Of course, he's got his teammate of Energetics closing in on the back of him. Of course, with that front wing damage, really not helping him getting into the pits, as he's going to go into the pits now. He's made it in, and he can put on a new set of boots now, but of course that's really going to hamper his finishing position. LPE up to P6, obviously overtaking his teammate who's in the pits as it stands at the moment of Alhan. Sliding around turn 1 again. LPE, he's going great guns, but he's really not putting control of that car when he's going around turn 1, especially. Curly Red for Team Williams up to P7, and Marks will follow him through, I think, because obviously Alhan is now going on hard compound tyres to the end of this race, so he's going to go on the softs. He has put the hards on and will be finishing. At the moment he's in P9, but we'll be seeing where he's going to finish obviously later on in the race. But I think that incident himself, which he caused himself into turn 1, on the exit of turn 1, really didn't help his cause, did it? So we'll crack on with this race. But hopefully he can get up to speed, get those tyres warmed up quite quickly, and crack on with the next stint. Into the pits. No, he doesn't come into the pits. Sorry, he's coming around the final corner. Is Granty obviously leading this race for Team Williams? This roles reversed now, as Williams are now the top 3. Serious Mushroom, XR and Granty all top 3 for Team Williams. Curly Red and Marks in P7 and P8 for Team Williams as well as it stands. But those Haas guys all have pitted, so they'll be chasing down those Williams boys now as we go into the second half of this race. And we're just waiting to see who's going to be the next guys to make a pit stop, or if there's going to be another overtake somewhere or any mistakes. But I can't see anything happening on the minimap as it stands at the moment. The closest battle is between Fireshot and Serious Mushroom, but it is over 2 seconds. But of course, Fireshot has made that pit stop already, and will be easily gaining. Well, he's in the net lead of this race as it stands. Is the Haas driver, because he's only about sort of 12 seconds or so behind the race leader. On track at the moment, so of course those pit stops will be coming for the 3 Williams leaders, or 3 Williams boys who are out in the lead or in the top 3 in the next few laps. We'll find out. Of course, like I said, the soft tyres seem to go about 5 to 6 laps, so we should expect them in the end of lap 11, lap 12ish. It's the gap is coming down, so I think overtake will be done before then for Fireshot. He's really gaining on Serious Mushroom. Great guns for the Haas team, and looking to get that P3, and then obviously carry on for the race victory. Obviously being in that P1 as it stands. Obviously no mistakes for Fireshot will be what he's hoping for, and obviously no penalties as well. I think he has actually got a 3-second time penalty for this corner here for turn 1. And he's managed to get through unscathed, not unscathed, but untime penaltied through the first corner this time. He's not going to be in DRS range, I don't think, of the Williams driver on this occasion. We'll find out. No, he's not quite, but he's using a lot of ERS to try and gain on that rear diffuser of the Williams driver. And I don't think he's going to be putting Mushroom under pressure into the hairpin, as Curly Red has got a 3-second time penalty for cutting turn 1. So we're waiting to see who's going to be the next movers. I think Fireshot is now within DRS range, but it's going to be saving some ERS obviously into the windy sector 2 and sector 3, or the end of sector 2 and sector 3. I think Mark just got a 3-second time penalty there. I'm not sure if it was Mark or somebody else, but that's not going to help him if Alhan can get within that 3-second window. And Alhan he's not gaining on him too much. Granted, he's in the pits from the lead of the race. So he's going to be into the pits for Team Williams, onto the soft compound tyres, you imagine. XR is going to carry on. Serious Mushroom is following him into the pits, and Fireshot, of course, takes the lead of the race, or takes the net lead of the race back from Granty and from Serious Mushroom. As Granty's coming out of the pits in P2 on the soft compound tyres. Energetics passes Serious Mushroom, who is just in the pits now. I think LPE will get past as well. Very drifting it into turn 1 as usual. Curly Red for Team Williams coming round, but I think Serious Mushroom will be out of the pits before, and quite slow out the pits there is Serious Mushroom, it looks like, but he's underway now in P6 for the Williams team. And the lowest Haas unfortunately is P9 at the moment as it stands, but the rest of them are doing a great job. P5 for LPE, P4 for Energetics, and a P2 for Fireshot. So it might still swing back in their favour, of course, with the pit stops. Of course, Exile is still yet to pit, and that will obviously promote Fireshot into P1, and probably Energetics and possibly LPE as well. So we'll find out in a minute when Exile does make his pit stop. And so we're just waiting to see who's going to, if Exile's going to make his pit stop on this lap. Obviously, his team captain of Granty went into the pits the last lap, but he's in the pits this time, and he's going to be going onto the soft compound tyres, you imagine. The question is, will Exile be able to use those soft compound tyres to gain on the medium runners of Fireshot for Granty, and probably for LPE for Serious SNR Exile, if I can get my words out. Exile's on the way out actually, so LPE might not jump him actually at all. We'll find out in a minute as he does come round the first turn. LPE taking that turn really wide, and it's just, I think he's probably racking up the warnings if he's not already got the penalties. I think he's got one penalty, but I think he's really going for it, his LPE, and but he's going to be under pressure now from Exile, who's on the fresh soft compound tyres with ERS. And he's made that move stick, has Exile, and I think he's always LP coming back at him though. The distance, really, you can't really tell the distance on that shot, can you? But no, Exile makes the move up into P4, sorry, and LP needs to stick with him really, and just try and make sure that because of these any penalties that he's within that window to make the jump on him if anything does pop up. Granty is gaining on a Fireshot in P2 as it stands for Granty, and I think Fireshot does have a penalty, so we'll see later on in this race if that will, at the very end of this race, of course, when the standings are taken into account, whether that will affect his finishing position, but we'll find out at the very end, as I said. And Marks is all over the back of Curly Red. Granty gets the fastest lap of a 12.886, which is the fastest we've had out of the two races so far. So really good time from Granty there, but Marks is all over the back of his teammate, or his Williams teammate. Two Williams reserves here as it stands, and they're battling away through the final sector. Neither of them have to make a pit stop again, but of course Curly Red has made that early pit stop for the hard compound tyres, so we'll be under pressure from his teammate here. He's defending into turn one, not doing anything too untoward is Curly Red or Marks, but carrying on. Alhan is in the wall. I was just going to say Alhan is gaining on the back of these two, but he's unfortunately in the wall again at turn one and broken that wing once again, so he'll probably have to pit now for those soft compound tyres. Granty feeling Fireshot, said Sam, as we've got a yellow flag in 1 and 2. Yeah, it's going to be the Haas of Alhan, unfortunately for Alhan, with that front wing damage now. The second time he's got the front wing damage, so he's going to have to make another pit stop, I think, for some new tyres and a new wing. Granty is within that DRS range now of Fireshot, so he's going to be all over the back of the Haas driver into turn one, using that DRS to gain on him down the main straight and down the next straight as well, making sure there's no. Oh, he's got a penalty there, so I think the penalties are even now in this situation, because I think Fireshot got one earlier on, but of course anything can happen with the penalties in the next few laps. 4 laps to go, or three and a half laps or so to go of this race, of this semi-final race. There we go. LP's got another penalty, so that's going to come back into maybe Serious Mushroom's favour. He'll be hopefully aware of that as well, so he'll be looking to check on the penalty situation and maybe get after LPE and make sure he gets that P5 back for Team Williams if he can. Granty all over the back now of the Haas driver, and I think Fireshot knows it's coming. I think that move is inevitable, really. It's a question of when, because the soft tyres for Granty are doing a great job, as Alhan and Marks is in the pits for a new front wing as well for Team Williams. Alhan is following him into the pits now for a new front wing also, and a tyre change. On go the soft compound tyres for both of the drivers. Marks is out of the pits and away he goes, and Alhan has now got a new front wing on and away he goes as well. So off he goes down the pit lane, and very soon he'll be out and about, and off he goes now into the wild of Hockenheimers. He's actually going to be lapped. Sorry, I didn't see that coming by Fireshot, and he could actually help out his teammate here by giving DRS to Fireshot to help defend against Granty. And we'll find out in a minute if Fireshot's got DRS. I don't think he has actually. No, he hasn't. Okay, that's a bit strange, because I thought they were well within the DRS range of each other, rather. But as we'll see, we'll go right on board with Granty, as Alhan is now ghosted. Fireshot defends the inside of the hairpin, but he's overshot it. Granty goes down the inside, but Fireshot's still in the lead, using that ERS now to power through, and he's retained the lead as it stands into the middle of the second sector, middle of the lap. A bit of a nudge there on the diffuser of the Haas by Granty, but he's kept it going in a straight line and into sector 3. And I think Alhan now is down a lap, but it's going to be going great guns, of course. But with the fresh soft tyres and new front wing, it'll be all over the back of these guys. So he's following them through. And Energetics has got a 3-second time penalty there. He'll be under pressure from Exile. I'm not sure if Exile's got a penalty or not, but we'll find out. And we'll wait and see if there's going to be any changes there. Alhan going to be chasing through the two lead cars. I think Fireshot's probably a bit upset with his teammate for not giving him DRS there, but as Alhan is actually through on Granty, is he going to be through on the Haas driver as well of his teammate? He's actually is through. Fireshot's now got DRS, so Fireshot's now using the DRS to defend against Granty, who's oncoming, and it's really going to be interesting to see if Granty's going to be able to make a move, because obviously these two Hasses, as he's gone into the back of Fireshot, these two Hasses, he's bumping together there, and Fireshot's not a very good sportsman-like behaviour. Sorry from that. It looked like he was turning into on him there, which isn't very good. But lap 16 now, penultimate lap. So Granty will be looking to get that move done now, unless the penalties obviously add up and are in his favour already, and he's already aware of that. He doesn't have to make that overtake, of course, if he's within the penalty window. But we'll find out at the end of this race, of course, because I have no idea where the penalties are. I know a few people have them, but I don't know who's got what. And it's all over the place. Granty is saving his airs now into the final corner. He's going to have the DRS to make a move, and I think he's trying to save up to make sure that he can go for the fastest lap and potentially the overtake on as Energetics. Sorry, he's off in the final corner. He's coming back on in front of LPE. Oh, that's very close. That is between the two Haas drivers as well. LPE is through into P4. Exile's got 3-second company for corner cutting turn 1. Granty is all over the back now of his teammate. Serious Mushroom gets a penalty as well. His teammate, his rival, Fireshot pushing him to the inside. Bit of argy-bargy between the two of them there. Down the inside goes Granty. Is he going to make a move? He's made the move up into P. Oh no, that's coming together there. That's Fireshot's fault, that is. And both the leaders are in the wall. Exile's going to come through and probably claim the victory now as he comes through, and up into P1 for Exile. Serious Mushroom has passed Energetics into the hairpin as well. Energetics cuts back and makes the move stick, and that's how you do it. Fantastic move from Energetics to keep that position for P5, but obviously penalties will come into play, and we're waiting to see who's going to cross the line in P1. It looks like Exile, who's benefited from the two behind, as Serious Mushroom is in the grass. He is. He's having a bit of a problem there, but he's not under pressure from his teammate reserve teammate of Curly Red as it stands. But we're waiting to see who's going to cross the line in P1. And we're waiting to see if Exile crosses the line. In P1. No, Fireshot does in P1. Exile in P2. Granty in P3, but very close based on penalties. LPE in P4. And who's going to finish 6th now? Serious Mushroom is drifting it around the final turn. It looks like Khan wants to try and do that. Over the line in P6 for Team Williams is Serious Mushroom. Curly Red for Team Williams reserving tonight is Curly Red in reserving tonight for Team Williams is in P7. Marks is going to be obviously reserving tonight for Team Williams as well. Is going to be in P8. So I'll just do some quick maths. It's 10 for Haas. It's 7 for Energetics. It is 6 for LPE. And it is, who is the other one? It's 9th for Alhan, which is 2. And unfortunately a DNS for Sean Hammers. Williams, Williams are going to finish 2nd, 3rd, 6th, 7th and 8th. So 2nd is 9 points, 3rd is 8 points, 6th is 5 points, and then 7th is 4 points, and 8th is 3 points. So it is very close at the moment. We'll just have a double check on who got fastest lap. We're just waiting for the podium celebrations to finish. So just waiting for the fastest lap, and then I'll be able to whack that in. And once we've got that in, we'll crack on. That'll be it really for the semi-final. Sorry, I'll just wait for the fastest lap, and then we'll update the scores, and then that'll be it for tonight's racing. And we'll crack on with the next race. Well, the next race, which will be the final. It's a 12.886 there for Granty, so an extra point for Team Williams. Grantee in Williams. So bear with me as I put the time in. 1.12.886. I keep putting 3 for some reason. 1.2886. There we go. So an extra point for Team Williams, which means it is 30-25 in Williams' favour over Team Haas. So the winners are Team Williams tonight, and of course from the first race is Team Renault. So the final will be made up of Team Renault against Team Williams, and that will be on Sunday at 8 p.m. We've got that. Before that, we've got the third place playoff, which will be between Haas and Mercedes, who unfortunately both lost tonight in the first race with Mercedes, and then this race just gone was the Haas team. But Williams on top, and also Renault from the first race. So it's going to be a Renault and Williams. Renault and Williams final, and a Haas and Mercedes third place playoff. I'll just get the scores in on the doors so that we can update that. So I think, unfortunately for Sean Hammers, I think that for Alhan, I think those spins and those disconnections cost the Haas team, unfortunately, on this one. But they really did put in a shift all the way through the tournament. So well done. Of course, congratulations. It's not over for Team Haas. They can still fight for the third place on Sunday. But really well done to both the teams there for competing through the tournament and doing a great job. We'll carry on with the next race, which will be on Sunday. So the first race on Sunday will be at 7:15 p.m. And that will be Williams against Mercedes in the third place playoff. At 8 p.m. it will be Renault against Williams in the final. So we'll see you there. Thanks very much for joining us, and we'll see you on Sunday. Cheers, bye.